Hey, Ari here, and today we'll be taking a look at the Logitech G700s, which is a wireless gaming mouse that can also be used as a wired mouse with the included charging cable. Starting off with what's inside the box, you have the mouse, wireless receiver, a charging cable, an extension cable for the wireless receiver, and your user documentation with a 3-year limited hardware warranty. The G700s is a right-handed mouse that's 1.9 inches tall, 3.3 inches wide, and 5.1 inches long. The G700s feels great in the hand with a nice ergonomic thumb rest, as well as a dry grip coating on the thumb rest, and the opposite side where your pinky would grip the mouse on the other side as well. The body of the mouse, where your palm and left and right fingers would rest, also has a hydrophobic coating that's also fingerprint resistant. The whole mouse weighs about 5.3 ounces and has a laser sensor that's capable of a DPI range from 200 DPI all the way up to 8200 DPI for an image processing of 12 megapixels a second. The mouse also has 13 programmable buttons and a durability rating of 20 million clicks specifically for the left and right click buttons. There are also 5 onboard memory profiles that you can make changes to that are saved to the mouse so that you always have your settings regardless of where you take your mouse. The 3 buttons on top of the mouse by your left click, the G10, G9, and G8, are angled differently to each other so that you can easily distinguish each one without having to look, so you can quickly switch between them. By default, each one from the top down is set to DPI up, DPI down, and your battery level indicator. Speaking of battery level, this mouse comes with a single rechargeable AA battery that lasts for about 24 hours on a full charge with moderate to heavy usage. You can also change the power mode of the mouse from normal to power saver if you'd like to extend the length of the battery. Moving back to the rest of the buttons, the scroll wheel is very nice and responsive with a nice tactile response when scrolling, and the button just below it allows you to toggle the wheel to freely spin for scrolling those extra long web pages. The scroll wheel can also be clicked left and right, but clicking to the right doesn't present very much feedback, and with how freely the scroll wheel moves even without infinity scrolling, that it might be possible to accidentally scroll up or down while trying to use the left and right click buttons on the wheel. The G11 key just below that by default allows you to switch between the 5 onboard profiles that you can save to the onboard memory. But if you're using the Logitech software, you have the ability to use profiles stored in the computer, and the G11 key won't do anything in that mode, allowing you to bind it to whatever function you would like. And finally, the 4 buttons on the thumb rest area are nice and large, each angled differently to the other, just like the 3 keys before on the top of the mouse. The placement of the buttons feels good, and none of the 4 buttons felt hard to reach or click. There isn't much of a tactile response with these buttons, as they do feel a little softer and don't really make any audible noise when pressed. Moving on to the software, you can see all of your connected Logitech devices and the ability to switch between onboard profiles and profiles stored on the computer. Switching between devices and making changes to profiles is quick and easy with Logitech's gaming software, or LGS for short. There are 3 main icons at the bottom. The home icon provides an overview of the device and allows you to switch between profiles stored on the onboard memory or switch to using stored profiles on your computer. I typically like to use profiles stored on my computer as it allows you to customize a great deal more than just the 5 onboard profiles and the DPI settings for each. Moving over to the second icon resembling a mouse, you can see a detailed view of the mouse and all of the buttons on the device. Each button is neatly labeled and easily configurable by hovering over each one, and with a simple click, you can quickly assign a new command. Once in the command editor, you can see there are a ton of options here, allowing you to capture keystrokes, multi-key functions with delays, quickly replying back with scripted lines of text, default mouse functions, media keys, hotkeys, shortcuts, extra functions like opening other applications, and even specific options for voice programs like Ventrilo. The third icon over is that of a cog with a mouse cursor. Here you can change the number of DPI levels available and the sensitivity of each, as well as assigning one as the default setting. There are a lot of other options like choosing your polling rate and making each profile separate from the other. You can also change the power mode of the device if you'd like to conserve a little more battery life or really make sure you're getting the maximum performance out of the device. The remaining icons to the right allow you to make general changes to the Logitech software itself, like checking for updates, as well as additional information about Logitech and any help you might need troubleshooting, while linking you to the Logitech website and their help center. You can really get creative with all of the available options, and the best thing about it is that you can set all of these custom settings for every game you have installed in your computer. The software allows you to quickly scan for new games and add them to the list of profiles across the top. And if that doesn't work, you can always create a custom profile for all of your games and applications and directly link it to the executable yourself. That pretty much covers everything the mouse and software has to offer. I really like the G700s, and I only have a few complaints that might not bug everyone interested in this mouse. It's extremely comfortable to hold, and I really like the shape and textures used for the mouse, as well as the ergonomic thumb rest that's part of it. The only downside for me is that it's a much taller mouse than what I'm currently using, and it's definitely more of a palm grip than a claw grip, which is usually how I hold most mice. That, coupled with the position of the sensor, which is in the very front of the mouse instead of the middle like most mice, has taken me quite a while to get used to. The mouse is also heavier than what I'm currently using, since it does have a rechargeable battery inside. You can completely remove the battery if you'd rather use this as a wired mouse instead of a wireless one, which does make the mouse a tad lighter, but the cable they've included isn't as soft and flexible as a typical braided cable that you would find on most mice. Instead, it seems to be purely intended as just a charging cable, as it is a much stiffer cable that's just a thick rubber that definitely felt like it added a lot of resistance to the mouse while using. And that's my review of the Logitech G700s. You can find the mouse online for about $60 to $70. It's a little more expensive if you buy it directly from Logitech's website. I believe they still want about $100 for it. If you're interested in the mouse that I use for the comparison shots, this is the Logitech G600. It's an MMO style gaming mouse. I kind of used it for a size comparison in my main shots for the review. I don't have a review of this mouse, but if you are interested in more information for this mouse and other mice like it, you can check out my previous review of the Corsair Scimitar, which is an RGB lighting MMO style mouse with the same kind of keypad. The G600 here can be found for about $40 to $50 plus. It's a bit less money than the G700. But I hope you've enjoyed this review so far. Please leave any comments you have, any questions about either of these mice, or a direct comparison for all three. And you can always leave a like, subscribe to my channel for more content, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.